All right, that was 2 of my pork tenderloins and a bag of my baby red potatoes with 2 sticks of butter for this super easy 1-pan meal. All right, now that we have a good sear on our beautiful pork, we're just gonna take that. Oh my gosh, look at the caramelization. And we're just gonna start flipping those over and making room for our next ingredients. Going right on in. Perfect. Oh my gosh, look at the caramelization. All right, let's make room for some of our other ingredients. All right, I have all my potatoes right up top to make room for our French green beans. We're just going right into that beautiful butter bath. And I use about half that bag of our beautiful green beans. And now we want to go in with some seasonings. I want to go in with some whole clove garlic to kind of season up our butter. I have about a half onion quartered. I'm just gonna stick in just kind of all over the place because we wanna make sure every single portion of our meal is well seasoned. And then to tie in with our onion and butter, I have an all-purpose blend onion butter. And I'm gonna go very generously all over our entire cast iron, just like so. Oh my gosh, if you could smell this right now. I love making these little 1-pan kind of mock barbecue meals, especially, you know, in the winter or spring where it's not super, super hot out. That looks delicious. And then what goes better with pork than some barbecue sauce? I'm gonna go in with our barbecue sauce just on our pork for now. Just a little goes a long way. I love using the Sweet Baby Ray's. You can feel free to use any kind of barbecue sauce you like. But that Sweet Baby Ray's original is hard to beat. Perfect. All right, we're gonna let this ride and make sure everything gets nice and cooked up. All right, that was 1 block of my cream cheese into my 13 by 9. I'm next coming in with an entire bag of our beautiful egg noodles, just like so. I'm using that entire bag of our egg noodles. Just make sure they're nice and evenly distributed. I'm next coming in with some Baby Bella mushrooms. I love using the Baby Bella mushrooms. They're one of my favorite kinds, but you can feel free to do any kind of mushroom you'd like. I'm coming in with some white slivered onions. Again, feel free to use whatever kind of onions you want and whatever kind of cut. I feel that with the yellow and the white, they just are best for cooking versus raw. Just into our 13 by 9. I'm next coming in with our Campbell's condensed family size cream of mushroom soup. And I'm just gonna go right on over into our 13 by 9. You could also do a cream of chicken, but I think with the mushrooms and this recipe is just gonna be super tasty. We're going in with that entire can of our Campbell's cream of mushroom. I'm next coming in with our beef shaved steak. I just found this at my local grocery store, and what I'm gonna be doing is just popping those right into our 13 by 9. Just like so. Ooh, it almost has like a pastrami texture. You can feel free to do kind of any meat you'd like with this recipe, but I think it's very indicative of this classic recipe with our thinly shaved. You can see super thin, super delicious, just like so. We cannot forget our seasonings. I'm going in with some thyme. I love using thyme in its entirety. So I'm going in with that entire box, and it's just gonna season our entire dish. And we just gotta make sure that we pull them out once everything's nice and cooked. I have our vegetable broth. You can also feel free to do a beef broth or a chicken broth. But we wanna just make sure that those noodles are covered that we put in. I'm using, like I said, the egg noodles. You can feel free to do any kind of style of noodles. I think with this recipe, which I'm kind of doing a spin on a classic recipe, egg noodles are typically used, and I'm going in with that entire thing of our vegetable broth. And just to add some extra richness, I'm coming in with some heavy whipping cream. And I'm just gonna go over with maybe about a cup on top of our beautiful 13 by 9, just like so. I'm curious if anybody in the comments can guess and see what we're making, but what we've created is gonna be delicious. We're just gonna place a cover on it and pop it into our oven at 325 for about an hour. All right, that was 1 bag of my crinkle cut, already cooked French fries into my 13 by 9. We're going right on in with our par-cooked ground beef for this super fun and rich recipe. Perfect. Now it's about a pound of our ground beef. I'm coming in next with some whole cut red onion just over our ground beef. Like I said, this is gonna be a super easy and fun little one pan lunch, dinner. The kids are gonna love this. It's gonna beat all the fast food that you have had in your lifetime. I'm coming in next with our beautiful hickory smoked bacon bits right on top of all of our delicious ingredients. Perfect. I used about half that bag. This recipe was kind of inspired by a favorite of mine. It's kind of a copycat. I'm just going in with my bread, butter, pickles. You can feel free to do any kind of pickles you want. I personally love the bread and butter pickles. I think they're the perfect amount of sour and sweet, and I love them just to snack on during the day too. So I'm just gonna cover our French fries just like so. It's okay to get some of that pickle juice in there. Ooh, yummy. If you could smell this right now, it smells so delicious. I'm coming in next with our Kraft Thousand Island, because what casserole isn't complete without a little bit of sauce? Perfect. And of course, to get that bubbly, amazing crust, I have just our American singles. If you can kind of guess where we're going with this, I'm gonna start by placing our Kraft American singles just like so to cover our casserole. All right, and our last piece here. Perfect. This is gonna be super easy and delicious. We're gonna place this into our oven for about 15-20 minutes because we do have majority of our items already cooked at 350. All right, now that we got our good sears on both sides, we're gonna turn it on to low and slow, and we are going to cover so we can steam. All right. Oh my goodness, look at how amazing everything looks. All right, let's go ahead and pull out our beautiful pork tenderloins. Ooh, look at the steam. They look super juicy. And I'm just gonna place everything onto our cutting board so that we can let everything rest before slicing into those. Ooh, juicy. Okay, our pork is perfectly rested. I put our potatoes, our confit garlic, our caramelized onions, everything on the plate. I wanna cut this pork open. So I'm gonna go right on in. Look at our beautiful crust. Ooh, our pork is perfectly cooked and it's super juicy. Ooh, look at how juicy and delicious our pork is. All right, I am ready to give this a taste. I think I'm gonna go this one right here. Perfectly cooked. Meat is moist, green beans are cooked. Enjoy. All right, our beef stroganoff inspired dish is ready. All right, we're gonna go ahead and unveil this. Woo! It smells so delicious. Nothing looks burnt or overcooked. Those noodles, perfectly cooked. So I just like to keep the thyme in there just for an additional little flavor. So we'll go ahead and take those out, just like so. Oh, it's a little hot, so just be careful. But they just make that broth and everything just taste so good when they're incorporated. Delicious. I'm gonna take my little tongs. Ooh, our cream cheese is perfectly melted. We're just gonna start by combining everything together. Our heavy whipping cream, our condensed soup. Ooh, I love stroganoff. It's one of my favorite meals. I love making different varieties of it too. I make a really great vegetarian one, obviously the traditional one. And this is just kind of an easy way to do that too, where it's just a one pot, set it and forget it. Delicious. Now that I have everything mixed, I did let it set a little so that I can get a little firmer. I'm coming in with some just fresh chopped parsley all over top of our beautiful little stroganoff, just for some added freshness and some color. And of course, some Parmesan cheese. I'm going right on over, just like so. Ooh, perfect. I always recommend letting it sit for a couple minutes just so everything kind of gets all nice and beautiful and it gets a little thicker. You can see our pasta perfectly cooked, our mushrooms. Ooh, so delicious. Those egg noodles, if you could smell this right now, it smells so delicious. Perfect for a potluck, weeknight meal, and I hope you enjoy. Oh my goodness, our burger and fry casserole inspired dish is complete. All right, I'm gonna go right on in Make sure we get some of those fries, some of our ground beef. If you could smell this right now, ooh, it smells like an In-N-Out burger, or maybe even a McDonald's. Ooh, get all those layers. Ooh, it's like an animal style fry. Delicious. Ooh, our fries are super crispy because we par cooked them. Ooh, look at delicious. Our cheese is nice and melted. Ooh, enjoy.